Hello students, today we are going to discuss about journal entries techniques. What are the different techniques we can use to make a perfect journal entry? So this is part 2 of the class. It is better that you go through the part 1 video so that you understand the golden rules of journal entries, and then you can understand the advanced way of understanding journal entry. So if you see in journal entry, we understood that there are three type of accounts: personal, real, nominal. Correct? Now, these three type of accounts can be grouped into five different type of accounts like assets, liabilities, expenses, income and gain, and capital. I repeat again: assets, liabilities, expenses, losses, income and gain, and capital. So the business transaction of a company or of a business can be classified into these five categories. You will not have any other account which is falling beyond these five categories. Now let's understand what are the debit and credit rules for these five categories. The first one is assets. Assets will have two types. One is fixed assets, another is other assets. Fixed assets are the assets which are used in the business to earn revenue. Okay. This we talked about real account, right? In real account, you have tangible and intangible. So those are fixed assets. So what are the example of fixed assets? Like building, furniture, computers, correct? These are the assets of the business. And what is the intention of these assets? Why the business is keeping these assets? Intention is to use for minimum 12 months. That means it's not that I buy asset today and I sell it tomorrow. Correct. So the intention is to use for minimum 12 months and generate revenue by using that asset. Okay. Now coming to the other category of assets, these are current assets, or you can say assets which are kept on hold or which are with the business to convert into cash. Okay. For example, customer outstanding. That means the company has sold something to the customer and the customer has not paid. That means sales on credit. In that case, the sales proceed what to be received from the customer is shown as customer outstanding. But what is the intention of the company? To convert that into cash. The company expect that the customer pays to the company on time. Similarly, we have inventories, we have deposits, correct? These are items which are kept with the business with the intention to convert into cash as quick as possible, right? So these are other assets. Now coming to the principle of debit and credit, you need to keep in mind that assets are always debit balances. Assets are always debit balances. So increase in asset will always increase the debit. Okay, increase in an asset is always debit, decrease in an asset is always credit. Okay, I repeat again: increase in asset is debit, decrease in asset is credit. Now let's take an example: plant and machinery purchased in cash for rupees 50,000 rupees. So if you see here, plant and machinery is purchased in cash. So plant and machinery is an increase in asset for the business, because today we don't have any plant and machinery, but by this transaction the business is getting a plant and machinery which is increase in an asset. So increase in an asset is a debit balance. Similarly, you are paying by cash. This cash was an asset for you, right? For the business. So when you pay, this is reducing, decrease in an asset. Hence, it is credit. So what the journal entry we have to post? Plant and machinery account debit 50,000 rupees because for the increase, to cash account rupees 50,000 because of decrease in the asset. Next one is liabilities. What is liability? Like today, if you see as an individual, what are the liability I have? If I have borrowed money from bank, that is my liability. If I have to pay any EMI for any loan, that is my liability. If I have used my credit card and I have to pay after certain days, that is my liability. If I'm staying in a rented house, I have to pay to the landlord, that is the liability. So, in case of liability, there could be two categories. One is borrowings, loan from the bank. Another is benefits received on credit, which is to be paid. Correct? You have received some benefit, but not yet paid on the date of reporting. On the date of preparing the journal entry, it is not paid. In that case, what are the examples? You have creditors, provisions, rent payable, correct? So these are the items where you have not paid, but you had transaction with the companies or businesses. Now, coming to the rules, liabilities are always credit balance. Assets were debit, liabilities are always credit balance. Increase in liability is always credit, decrease in liability is always debit. Increase in liability is always credit, decrease in liability is always debit. Let's take an example. Plant and machinery purchased from XYZ company on credit for rupees 50,000. So what's coming to the business is asset. So there is an increase in asset, right? Plant and machinery, there is an increase in an asset. Increase in asset is always a debit. Increase in an asset is always a debit. Here the company has not paid in cash, correct? It is purchased from XYZ company on credit. Okay. So the liability for the company has increased. If it is not paid in cash, the liability has increased. So if liability is increasing, then it is credit. So what is the journal entry posted now? Assets account debited 50,000 rupees to XYZ company 50,000 rupees. Now, after the credit period, when the company has to pay XYZ company, what is the journal entry the company is going to post? Paid rupees 50,000 to XYZ company. So when you pay this 50,000 rupees is going out of your cash. So asset is decreasing, correct? Cash you are making the payment, so your cash balance will come down. Asset decreased. At the same time, your liability also decreased. Here you created the liability increased. Here, as you are making the payment, the liability is coming down, so liability decreased. So what is the entry? XYZ company debit rupees 50,000 to cash and bank rupees 50,000. XYZ reduced, hence debit liability. Cash also reduced, asset reduced, credit, hence credit to 50,000 rupees. The next one is expenses and losses. Expenses are always debit balance. Like assets, expense are always debit balance. So any increase in expense is debit. Any decrease in expense is credit. I repeat again, increase in expense is always debit. Decrease in expense is always credit. So let's take an example here. Rent payable to landlord rupees 15,000 rupees. So what you are going to pay? Rent. What is rent? It is an expense, right? At the same time, it is not paid in cash. Payable. Payable means it is on credit. You have to pay to the landlord. So you are increasing the liability, correct? Any payable is always a liability. So liability also increases. So when expense increase, it is debit. Expense increase, debit. Liability increase, it's always credit. So what is the journal entry we are going to post now? Rent account debited 10,000 to landlord account 10,000 rupees. Clear? Coming to the next one, it is income or gain. In case of income or gain, income is always a credit balance. Okay, expense is debit balance. The reverse is income, which is always a credit balance. Any increase in income is credit. Any decrease in income is debit. Okay, I repeat again. Any increase in income is credit. Any decrease in income is debit. Sold goods for rupees 10,000 to ABC Limited in cash. So when you sold, that is an income. Income is increasing, right? So it is credit. And cash you are receiving from the customer. So your asset is increasing. Cash increase is increase in asset. So increase in asset is debit balance. So what is the entry you are going to post now? Cash account debited 10,000 rupees to sales account 10,000 rupees. Increase in cash is increase in asset. Increase in income sales is always credit. Hence 10,000 is credited. Now let's talk about the last item, capital. What is capital actually? Capital is the fund invested by the owner, shareholders in the business. So this is the money what the owner is investing in the business with the intention of not recovering back. If the owner is giving loan, then he will take it back. But in case of capital, the owner doesn't want the money. The owner want to invest in the business and earn profit. So capital is always credit balance. Increase in capital is credit, decrease in capital is debit. Okay, I repeat again, increase in capital is credit, decrease in capital is debit. Let's take an example. Ram invested 1 lakh in the business as capital. Okay, Ram invested rupees 1 lakh in the business as capital. So here the cash is coming to the business. So asset is increasing, right? So it is debit. At the same time, the company or the business is getting capital, and that is the liability. Increase in capital is always credit. So what is the entry we are going to post? Cash or bank account debit, because asset increase for the business, cash coming to the business, 1 lakh, to credit to capital account 1 lakh rupees. Okay, so this is the entry. So now what we understood, that instead of following the golden rules, okay, we can follow the method of balance sheet and P&L items and prepare the journal entry. So let's revise again. Asset is always a debit balance. Any increase is debit, any decrease is credit. Expense is always a debit balance. Any increase is debit, any decrease is credit. Liabilities is a credit balance. Any increase is credit, any decrease is debit. Income is a credit balance. Any increase is credit, any decrease is debit. Capital, any increase is credit, it's a credit balance, so any increase is credit and any decrease is debit. So the way you can remember easily is AE, assets and expenses, is always debit, and you can remember in a short way LIC, liability, income and capital, these are always credit. So these are the few tricks which I explained today. What I will do in part 3, I'll bring lot of examples where we'll discuss more about how each transaction can be classified into these 5 categories, and we can prepare the journal entry with less effort. Thank you.